obviously the next 10 days are very important. In the next 10 days, we expect this finding from the High Court with respect to Cape Judge President John Hlophe. And in the next 10 days, we expect to see whether or not we get the tax returns of former President Jacob Zuma. And it's so interesting to me that not only do we have these stories back to back, but that these rulings come in parallel, particularly when I look at the men involved and the excuses that have been made to drag their cases over a decade and a half each. The very first allegations around misconduct against former President Jacob Zuma, if you recall, when NPA boss was Bulelani Ngcuka, take us all the way back to 2007. And his campaign in terms of taking over the ANC leadership ran very much on a victim ticket. Right up until what we get in the insurrection now in July, also on a victim ticket around my elderliness and the certainty of my death if I have to be taken to court, to jail, after his pushback and recalcitrance as well, in the name of not attending the Zondo Commission to testify and then finding himself in contempt of court. So by his own actions finds himself now going to jail and then turns around and plays a victim card. And baiting race, a very real issue, which we were just talking about the UK cricketer. We've been talking about South African cricketers. We know actually is a pervasive issue in this country. And using that as your victimization to drag us over 13 years. I mean, I've had Judge Edwin Cameron on the show being like, Refilwe, let's be very real about the Judge Hlophe situation since, all the way back at the Constitutional Court. We've had Nicole Fritz of Freedom Under Law being very candid about this. And the fact that we've got serious issues. And of course, great journalists like Karen Warren again and again putting forward some real evidence of bad behavior, then turning around and trying to reduce it to somebody victimizing you because you're black. Then again, also 2 black judges. Not to say black people can't be racist, but Pius Langa and Dikgang Maseneke, please don't come for them. Especially don't come for Uncle Pius. I think it exposes just a real failure in leadership in the country. And it's not just on this side. I mean, it's also political parties that blame a woke brigade that doesn't exist, just people who want their services done, for losing positions in their political standing in elections, for losing favor amongst voters. Again, victimization. Writing whole books appropriating the term woke that actually belongs to African Americans, or at least it originates there. To blame the electorate for having eyes to see that the promises have been broken. It is a real concern of mine that this is the leadership that we all have to look up to and that we're saddled with. And it's interesting to me that this is also leadership that has been holding on to the reins for, as I say, decades now. It clearly, and I feel very strongly about this, is time. For us, I don't want to see youth development agencies, youth leagues, women's leagues. It's time for everybody to sit at the adult table, and for the younger, and certainly the more accountable, to take up the leadership reins.
Breakfast with Refilwe Malata
on Cape Talk.